I'd like to ask you to give us your testimony, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course. So, I was raised in Troy, Texas, not far from here. Good Christian grandparents. They took me to church regularly. Any more than Sunday was available if I was willing to go. And I did. I chose to go to church a lot when I was a kid. I loved church from as early as I can remember. I had a close relationship with Jesus. I loved the Lord, and I took any opportunity I could to talk about God and to do all the extracurricular activities with the other kids that were also interested in God. And it was just a happy, joyous life. And so I firmly believe that, I came to Christ as a young child, and I did get very far away, definitely a prodigal. I got mixed up with the wrong kids, the kids that didn't want to act right, the kids that didn't want to listen, and get into fighting in middle school, and that progressed into things a little worse, like drinking and drugging by the time I was in high school, and led me to a long struggle with alcoholism and addiction. And I knew the only way that I was going to get out of that was with God. And so I did. I prayed, and I asked God to help me out of that. And, I was always too smart for my own good. You weren't, I like to say, not catch me slipping. But he blinded me. He blinded me. He allowed circumstances to happen that allowed me to get stopped. And that was a blessing. And I know that was only by God's grace, because I wasn't going to stop on my own. And so I did. I prayed. He made it happen. And then I went into rehab. I came out, and being in rehab was boring. It didn't really do anything. And I prayed more after that, and I knew that when I got out, I still wasn't going to be able to do it without God's help. And I still wasn't fully on board. But he guided me to AA. And AA, if you don't know much about it, is a program that helps people stop drinking. And I just recently got a 3-year chip.
Amen.
That was the end of last week by God's grace. And so with that, I was able to conquer the fear of the Old Testament God that, I couldn't be forgiven, and that's what allowed me to be comfortable coming back into the church and bringing my family and to ask the question, how do I get my kids to not go down the path I went down to reunite with God or find God? And it's just a blessing. It's, from early on to now, he's always been there. Even on my worst days, when I had a bottle in my hand and I was down and cold in the rain, I still talk to him.